Today I'm going to show you how you can bulk import accounts from MyStudio into Dodojo to make your NinjaBucks system much simpler. So the first thing you'll need to do is grab a list of your participants from MyStudio. So if you go into MyStudio, you will want to log in, click on All Customers, and under Participants, you'll want to click on Program. You can display filter options to determine how many people you want to download or things like that. For now, I'm just going to click this check mark, which will select 60 participants, and then we are going to click on Export. It will ask you if you want to download a CSV. Click on the OK button, and then it should download. After that is downloaded, we want to go back to Dodojo. We want to go into Shop and make sure we have our ranks set. Right now, my sample data that I have from MyStudio is only white to green belt, but make sure you have all of the belts set for your ninjas. So you can do that in ranks and by adding all of the ranks that are needed there. So after you have the rank set up, you'll want to go over to Create, and you'll want to click on the Bulk Import button. This allows us to enter CSV data that can just make a whole bunch of accounts at once. To see some formatting instructions, we can click on the question mark over there, and it will give us some examples. So the format we need is username, rank, the parent's email, whether the account is active or disabled. In this case, we want it to be active for most of ours, and then the number of points or NinjaBucks to assign them. This is the exact way that we need our data structured. So exactly like the examples are here. So yeah, obviously the ranks will be different depending on what your rank structure is. That's just also another thing to check. All right, so I have some sample data here that is formatted the exact same way that you would have it as if it was downloaded directly from MyStudio. So what we want to do is make all of our data here the same format as all of the examples here. So the first thing we want to do is go over to where we have Ninja username. We want to select all of these. We can cut or copy them, and we'll want to put them in the first column over here. The second thing we need is our parent email. Oh, I lied. The second thing we need is the ninja's rank or belt. So we can head over, grab that here, and we'll want to put that in our second column, but right beside our ninja username. After that, we want the parent's email. So we can copy the email column, put it over here. Then we need to determine whether it's active or disabled. Now, one thing to note, you must have it exactly as written here. No capital A for active, no capital D for disabled. It must all be lowercase. If you accidentally import accounts with a capital A or capital D, it will make those accounts, but they will not appear. I will explain a bit more in a little while. But if that happens, email james@dodojo.co, and I will be happy to assist you and manually set up those the visibility for your profiles. So to get all of ours active at the moment, the easiest way to do that would be finding a field that is all the same. Now, for us, it would be gender here. It's all the same across all of the fields. So what we can do is we can Control F. We can find the gender field, if I can type, and we want to replace all with active. Now, what this is going to do is it's probably going to capitalize that. Now, we need to fix that later, but for now, we're just going to take that and put it over here. And I just pasted. I want to copy that and place it over here, right beside the parent emails. Then we want, finally, the number of Ninja Bucks that each person has. If you have an existing spreadsheet for that, that is great. If not, I'm just going to copy over the age and just apply that many to each of the members as a placeholder. All right, so now we should have our formatted data as username, the rank, the parent email, active or disabled, and the number of Ninja Bucks we want to apply. For the rest of this data, we want to select all and delete it. If you want, you can also delete the columns, which will also make it a lot easier when editing our CSV. Then we can go up to File and we can export it as a CSV. We don't want to include the table names. That'll just make it easier for us later on. Once you have your CSV created, you will want to open it up in a plain text editor. So on Windows, that would be most likely Notepad, and on Mac OS, that would be TextEdit. All right, so once you have opened up your CSV in a text editor, you should see something that looks like this. Now, the first thing we need to do is delete this first line here that has just all of our random data. So all we are left with is the username, the rank, parent email, uh, the visibility, and points for each ninja. Now, before we do anything with this data, we need to use find and replace again. We need to find active with a capital A and make sure we replace it with active with a lowercase a. If you want the accounts disabled, make sure it's disabled with a lowercase d, but it must match up either active like that or disabled like that. Once we have our data formatted, we can select our text, we can copy that, and we can paste it in here. Make sure there is a line break for every single new username. So we have one for Brandon, one for Joel, one for Leia, etc. Right now, this is just a line wrap, so it breaks at the space, but this is all one line, technically here. Then, when we are done, we can hit submit, and we should see that 20 profiles, or however many you have, were added successfully. Now, we should have all of our profiles show up here, or if they're disabled, they should be found in here. If you got a success message that said created 20 profiles successfully and none of them show up here, you most likely had a capital A for active or capital D for disabled, and that would mess up the import. If you got a success message that it successfully imported a certain number of accounts and you don't see them here, email James at dodojo.co and I can help you find that here. So this is my email down here. If you have any trouble at all, please email me and I would be happy to manually set the visibility for all of your profiles. And that should be about it. It's a little bit tricky to do, but it will save you a whole lot of time in the long run when you are bulk importing accounts. Again, any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to email me, james at dodojo.co. If you have any problems, let me know. Have a great night.